Network. Hey everybody, welcome to the TED Show. Today is Tuesday, June 12th. I'm here with my wonderful friend Gert Garman, who is here. She was on my first show back in August. Welcome, Gert. Thank you for coming on today.
Absolutely.
You guys let us know you can hear us or see us. We have, we want to talk today. Obviously, we're here on the, hey Tyler, that's Tyler that I was talking about. Keeping our finger on the pulse, remembering the 49 we lost. Today is that day. Hey Tyler, can you hear us and see us okay? Tony Boner's on too. Hey Tony. You know, it's funny, Gert. I actually wasn't sure I wanted to do a show today. And because there's so much going on today, Ted, we can't hear you? Oh, sounds good. Okay. All right, thanks, Tony. There's so much going on today that, you know, I didn't want to take away from it. I wasn't sure what hey Barry, I wasn't sure what my point of view would be. I wasn't personally connected to any of the 49, and I didn't want to negate it. I didn't want it to make it feel fake, but the thing is that I believe there's so many of us that have an emotional connection to what happened to the 49, what happened in our city, and what we've all been through for the past 2 years, that as much as I talk about things in the community, I realized that it would be a disservice if I didn't at least come on and talk. And Gert and I happened to be having a meeting this morning. And so late last night, which is my norm, as you guys probably know, I messaged her. I said, can we please do a show about Pulse? And what that looked like, I had absolutely no idea. But I knew that it was important for us to acknowledge and to talk about it, because I really feel like there are so many people like us who just have feel it, that we can feel it today. You can feel it in the city, actually.
Oh my gosh.
You absolutely can feel it. I started feeling it yesterday, maybe even earlier over the weekend. People started posting, people started sharing, it's very cathartic, but it brings up so many memories for all of us who were impacted.
Right.
So anyway, enough of my little spiel. Welcome, Gert.
Thank you, sweetie.
And thank you for agreeing to come on. It's a somber, reflective, emotional topic that I think is but it's critical for us to have a conversation. That's why I put it out there, that there were no parameters as far as us speaking about it. But I felt like it's important for us to speak about it. It's important for us to give anybody else out there who might be feeling the same thing, who might not go to one of the events that are going on today, might not be able to attend, may not feel like they're connected, kind of like we feel specifically to one of the 49, but feel the loss as humankind, the city as a whole.
No, I agree, and I'm thank you for asking me to come on with you. I feel like there's a lot of people like us, you know, that we have a very different perspective than people who were deeply connected to everything. But I think by the end, we were all deeply connected, right? Because it affected our whole city, and people felt it worldwide. I mean, I was traveling like the week after that, and I just remember seeing, like, you know, rainbow lights on buildings, and just the support that we got was amazing. And I think it brought us together. I mean, when we say #OrlandoStrong, we mean it.
Well, and I think so. I had the privilege of having Mayor Dyer on the show, and we talked a little bit about that, because I feel like that, even though our city has been unified, I feel like we've come together so much, even since I've been here. When Pulse happened, when that tragedy struck, it really did bring us together as a city. You could feel the difference almost immediately. I remember seeing the people in the lines to give blood.
Yes.
That was to me, that spoke volumes of, all right, we're gonna take action, which is one of the hashtags that I see. It's about action and taking action. We can talk about that in a little bit. But I feel like when you saw those lines of people who were they were standing in line in the crazy June heat to give blood, who had no connection other than the fact that it happened to 49 wonderful, beautiful human beings in our city.
Right.
And they just felt like they needed to do something. That's the feeling, I think, that we were all feeling at that particular moment.
And not just the people who were giving blood, which thank you all for doing that, but the people who couldn't give blood that took water and donuts to the people who were standing in line to give blood. I mean, everybody just came together. It was really cool to watch.
It was. I think that we felt like it actually motivated people. People felt like they had to do something. They couldn't just sit and watch it unfold on TV. They actually had to get out, and our city's incredibly good about that. I feel like we always have been, but that was like this moment where we really, everything we'd been building toward, that was the moment where we all came together and said, all right, whatever I'm doing, no matter what's happening, I'm going to go out. And you're right, like people brought water to the people standing in line for blood. People donated food. They went out and helped canvass around Pulse. They helped anybody who needed anything. And what I saw a lot on, especially Facebook, and I want to talk about that and the power of that during, especially those early days, the power of Facebook. But I think people were just going, all right, I can't just watch it anymore. I can't see it. I have to participate. I have to do something.
Right. That's right.
It moved us in a way that I feel like the city has never been moved before.
I agree. And even the memorials, you know, that people were just bringing flowers and notes and cards and that kind of stuff. I mean, it was amazingly cool. And I love how the History Center, you know, went and like saved all that stuff, you know, because it was just so important and it was so, you know, from the heart. So,
and I feel like we have, what that did is brought it shined or shone, that's one of those two words, shone a beautiful light on our city in the worst of times. And then the world was looking at us and we came to the table. I love the fact that we didn't, I feel like, this is my personal opinion, that we came to the table and we meant business. And you're right, Tyler, we're all connected, but now we're united. I love that. That's beautiful.
That's really cool.
We didn't leave it there. We said, you know, we're going to do what we have to do to embrace each other, to be there for each other. Yeah. And it was this amazing sense of loss around that time, but this amazing sense of coming together and being united. And I feel like that has been the catalyst for even more growth in our city. I think our city changed on that day, again, out of the worst possible situation, but has been such a positive influence on the direction of this city.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, you think about it, I mean, these 49 people just went to dance, right? So we have to remember that we need to keep them every time we go and dance, which we should all dance, even today.
It's scary to watch me dance.
Well, me too, but you know, just wiggle. It's all good. But you know, it's us paying homage to them as well. Right. You know, so
it's very emotional too. Like you can be in a conversation and you can just be talking about Pulse, and somehow it comes up. And people get emotional. I get choked up when I talk about it. We were talking about, I was sharing with Gert how Carlos Carbonell came in and did a presentation at the Collective. And we broke into groups, and it had been long enough. It might have been the year anniversary. And so I didn't know what to expect, but what I saw in that room were people who were still incredibly emotionally tied to everything that surrounded those days and those people. Yeah. And it's still very raw 2 years later, because I think that was just, first of all, we didn't believe it could happen in our city. Most of the time we don't believe things like that can happen in general. But the amount of people that it impacted, the amount of people that it actually touched, goes everywhere. So you can't have a conversation with a person without somebody at least getting that pit in their stomach, that feeling of, oh my God, I remember where I was. I remember when I started getting messages, which I want to talk about Facebook in a second. Mm-hmm. I remember when I saw the lines and I went out and brought the water. But I feel like people really still have an emotional connection to it, and always will. It's kind of, to me, it's kind of like if you bring up 9/11 to me, I still get choked up. I still think about that and what an impact that had.
I think a lot of us do. You know, that's interesting that you say that because a few months ago, you know, I was in the emergency room at Orlando Health because turns out I had to have spinal surgery, but we didn't really know what was wrong with me. And I got put, they were so busy that day that I got put in a hallway on a gurney instead of in a room. And there was this beautiful memorial to the Pulse victims because, oh my gosh, you can imagine what those people went through, you know, as that became, you know, the trauma center, you know, for everything that happened. And even then still, we, you know, my friend and I got emotional just looking at that.
How can you not? We almost, now you and I haven't talked about this, but we're at the Citrus Club, obviously, and they have a very small but poignant, 49, I'm getting choked up, 49 candles lit, and so you notice it, and of course I didn't because
but we just walked by and I was like, what are those candles for? Are there 49 candles? And then Ted went up and read it, and yes, it's a beautiful memorial.
You know, and that's the thing, it's the little things like that. People remember, and they want to remember, they want to pay homage, like you said, they want to let everyone know that they haven't forgotten.
Right.
But Facebook, so that particular evening, and you saw some of the posts on Facebook, 2:02 a.m., you mattered, I think, are some of the hashtags that are going on social media. Mm-hmm. I just remember, as usual, I'm up working, doing something, who knows what, awake.
You and your insomnia.
Me and my insomnia. And the Facebook started lighting up. And that's the one I'm on, but it was Twitter too, and there were a lot of other ones. But Facebook started lighting up, and it said something about something going on Orange Avenue. Well, you know, we live in a big city, kind of, so I didn't pay much attention to it at first, but then I started to see people messaging, people that I knew, that I have a connection to, who are connected to the 49, going, oh my God, I have a friend in there, I have a cousin in there, I have a family member in there, and then it became this thing that just continued to build.
Yeah.
And so you could see and feel the desperation in those early hours. And then it just became this national, it hit hard. But I want to give kudos. I know a lot of people give social media a hard time, but in reality, social media kind of broke that story, really allowed people to get the information that they needed at that moment, because there were so many people connected that were sharing what was going on, or as much as they could, on social media. I thought it was very powerful.
And it was, and not only that, but I think that helped with the connecting and keeping us strong, because then we were there for each other, right? Even if it wasn't in person, you know, using social media for that, you know, because everybody was feeling it, and then you're like, so you could express yourself and then get support from other people, which I thought was amazing. So,
Tony, I'm sorry about Shane. I actually did meet Shane. It's amazing. So when I say I don't have a personal connection, I had met 2 of the 49. I think all of us in one way, shape, I have friends that had literally good friends, really good friends, that had family members and friends that were part of the 49 who we aren't with us any longer. And it was so painful for them. But they were able to stay connected, like you said, and get involved in the community. We have so many great things that have happened as a result. Because, I mean, isn't that, unfortunately, with tragedy, it a lot of times, it's so dark in the beginning, but you saw the human kindness and the human effort in the beginning, and it gave us a lot of hope. I feel like there was hope. I talked to a few people who had a cousin that was one of the 49, and they said during those early hours, especially the first day, it was the love and support and the outpouring, not just physically that you saw on the news, but social media, that really helped get them through.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we have to continue these efforts, you know. So I brought you something, you have no idea I'm going to do this.
Really?
Yeah, sorry. But I had a lady in one of my audiences, so I do motivational speaking, and so I had a lady in one of my audiences last week, and in the middle of my presentation for 90 minutes, she just stood up and she's like, I have something for you. And I was like, okay. And she painted this beautiful rock, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says, be the change. And She painted it and put some, like, bedazzled it a bit. It's got some jewels on it. And so she said, I want you to hold on to this for a couple days, and then I want you to pass it on to somebody else.
Oh my God, I love that.
So I'm going to give it physically to you today,
Really?
but I want it to be a gift to your viewers as well. So
Agreed.
be the change.
Be
my
the change.
friends.
That's beautiful. Thank
All
you.
yours. And it matches
Thank
your
you.
shirt.
It does match, sort of. Oh my God, that's beautiful. And I think this is the kind of stuff that happens. People touch your life and get involved in your, thank you, Gert, by the way. People touch your life and are touched by the things that you share.
Yeah.
One of the things that, again, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this show today is I just felt like there are people who don't have an outlet, really. We can all share the different pictures that are going on and talks about today on social media, but if you're feeling something, a lot of people would say that don't know any better, why are you feeling that? You didn't have a personal connection. And I'm here to tell you that it's 100% okay to feel that way, because it's like anything that happens that's a tragedy. We get emotionally involved. Why? Because we love people and we're human beings.
Right.
We care.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times we get shut down because we're told, all right, well, that happened in Iowa or that happened in another state or another country, and we become so desensitized
Right.
to what's going on in our world, and then we get shut down by people around us, or maybe it's not the news, because the news, of course, will always want to get that emotional out of you, but we get shut down. And so instead, you should embrace it, is what I would love to encourage you to do. Embrace that, because it's okay to feel that way. You should feel that way. How weird would it be not to feel some sort of sorrow and sadness and compassion for all of the people impacted by June 12th, 2016, right? I mean, how does that?
But also, I mean, feel the compassion, feel the sorrow, but feel the hope, right?
Yes.
So, because that's a big thing that came out of that. So, yeah.
And I think we do. I feel like our city as a whole is a symbol of hope, I think, a lot for the world. And we get consulted with, we get talked to when other tragedies are going on.
That's absolutely right.
Because of what we went through and because of our amazing support system that we have here. Because not all tragedies that happen, there isn't a ton of support around them all the time. And I feel like Orlando just embraced that and took it on. We really took it on.
Well, and they were our people, right? So, like, when you think about Vegas, those, as horrible as that was, a lot of them didn't live in Las Vegas. So it was a very different situation, right? These were our hometown people.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. And impacted. I don't know anyone who doesn't know someone in some way, shape, or form that was impacted. So remember, 49, that number there's an exponentially large group of people who were impacted directly and indirectly by what happened. And then don't forget, you have the people, Tim Putoff just got on.
Aw, hi, Tim.
You have the people who then were part of the first responders, part of the counseling team, part of the grief team that came in and were working that. And if you have to understand that those people, professional people, are impacted. Why? Again, they have a heart and a soul, and it's a human thing. You feel for people. You have a compassion for people who are going through that, and you can't leave that untouched.
Right.
I feel like.
Nor should we. Right?
Nor should you. And that really, when I was thinking about the message, other than hope, was that I feel like a lot of people get shot down on their emotions when they feel moved by anything going on in the world. They're told that it wasn't you, so don't worry about it, move on. And I feel like that is the worst thing we could do, because then we continue to allow the desensitization. Wow, we're gonna look that one up.
That's pretty good.
The desensitizing of, so as these things, and I feel like that's part of the problem. It becomes where you're disconnected from your brothers and sisters around the world, your other humankind, and so you become disconnected, so it doesn't matter, you don't feel it. That is absolutely not the right way to go, in my opinion. feel it, go through it, allow yourself to mourn. Why wouldn't you mourn the loss of life, of anything, or a tragedy of any kind?
That's right. No, it's very true. So yeah, and because we've been through it, we need to be those people. We need to be the change, right? We need to be those people who help others around the world. I mean, the world was here for us, so we need to be there for everybody
and
else.
I feel like we are as a city. So back to the city part. I love to give kudos, and everybody says, "Oh man, you must be, you're just a city lover." I am a city lover. I love our city. Listen, I don't have doe eyes. I get it. So we all have things that we go through in every community. But I'm going to tell you, I have experienced it firsthand how much love there is in this city for different people, different kinds of people, different lifestyles, different everything. We embrace the diversity here. We really do. Are we perfect at it? No. Hey, Gail. Aw, I love Gail. Remember Gail?
Yes.
Gail Katz's friend? Yes. My friend too. We embrace that diversity here and we encourage it. So everything we're doing, I feel like we're always on the cutting edge of hope here. We really do go, all right, here are the things. We want to be inclusive. That's another word I love. Mm-hmm. We're very inclusive here. Mm-hmm. We want everyone to feel welcome.
Right.
And we go out of our way. And this was the feeling that I feel like we built up before Pulse. But Pulse just put it into overdrive, warp drive. It literally said, all right, here's what's happening. We're just going to go forth and do good. Because honestly, when you experience that tragedy as a city, what else is there? You're going to go out and you're going to do things because you understand you have to.
That's right.
You have to do it. Because if you don't, what's going to happen? Hey, Dave, what broke my heart in the Pulse tragedy on top of the incredible loss of life was the loss of innocence of Orlando. You know what? You're right. It did. We did have to deal with something a big city would normally deal with.
Yeah, it's almost like we had to grow up.
We did have to grow up. That's a great point, David. We did. We had to grow up. We're very, we're touristy. We've got the mouse. We've got other things going on. Universal. But as a city, we had not experienced anything like that. But you're right, David. We kind of had to grow up, and we did lose our innocence. Much like 9/11, we had not had an attack like that ever on our soil.
Right.
And so we all had to realize that this was the new normal, which is unfortunate, but we all had to realize, all right, so we have to figure out how to deal with this, how to come together. And you're right, David.
But we did. That's the point.
We did, and that's actually the point.
Yeah.
We did come together. And don't you feel it like when you're doing, because Gert, you do a lot of creativity, team building, in and around the city, in addition to all around the world. Apparently, she's the world traveler. But don't you feel that difference? I mean,
yes.
Tell me, when you're engaging people, I feel like there's a different way that they are doing business, interacting with people, fundraising, community relations, getting involved in community than there was even before Pulse.
Yeah, and he's right. I'm always on a plane, and when I get on the Delta planes to come back to O-Town, right? The planes always packed, right? But mostly with families. Okay, yeah. God, there's no getting an upgrade out of Atlanta to Orlando. So, but the point is that people are excited to come here, right? And it's not just about the theme parks. I mean, a lot of it is, but it's about everything, and it's because people are just excited to come to Orlando. And I think that that's our reputation, because we handle things well, right? And it differentiates us a bit. So, I travel to a lot of different cities. They're very cool. I experience a lot of neat things, but coming back to Orlando and then getting on the tram to and from the terminals and hearing Mayor Dyer's voice welcoming us, I'm like, I'm home.
I agree.
I'm proud to be home.
That's right. There's a pride. I agree. Like, I think we've also grown in that. We are proud to be part of the city.
Right.
We're proud of what we are, because we really are. I mean, talk about sustainability, inclusivity, diversity. We are, as a city, on the cutting edge of that. We really are That's why people like, hey Jason, people like Chris Castro, who's the director of sustainability for the city, he travels all over to talk about sustainability. Why? It's not just because he's an expert, it's also because he's representing a city who is moving forward and progressing and taking risks and taking chances on things that other cities have not come up with or have not been able to do. And so we're looked at as a city of, like you said earlier, a city of hope, but also a city of actually taking action and doing things.
Yeah, and accomplishing things.
And accomplishing
But
things.
doing it together.
We do it together. So any last words of parting words? First of all, I'm very happy that you gave me a little prep before this, because I probably would have cried if you just gave it to me. I'm already emotional. This is beautiful. I almost brought the one Donna Dallas gave me. You know, she gives the hearts and she blesses them.
Yeah.
I have mine. I looked for it today. It's in my, I've got a jewelry box that a friend of mine gave me, and it's in there. And I thought, no, I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to hold on to it. But anything you want to share with them? How are you feeling today? How are you feeling after the show?
I'm feeling very emotional, and I've been struggling the whole time. But I say, let's just remember our 49 angels.
Oh, listen, you cry, I cry. No, we can't do this. No, but you're right. But you should be able to do it. You know I'm joking. Geez, you've seen me cry on this show. Yeah, I'm feeling very emotional too. I'm feeling hopeful but emotional. And I think that you hang on to both. It's okay to feel both. And that's I try, on my Freedom Friday, I try to give people permission that they have the freedom to feel. So you have the freedom to feel hopeful and wonderful about your city, yet remorseful, sad, sorrow, pain, whatever you're feeling about what happened at Pulse with those beautiful 49 souls. You have the right to feel that way. Don't discount it, and don't allow yourself to be blockaded because somebody's telling you, well, you had no connection. We all have a connection. We have a human connection, a spirit connection, a soulful connection, and a heart connection. And I want you to experience those and allow yourself to feel those, right? Feel that.
Yep.
Feel that in the moment. Feel it. Today is the day. You can feel it the other 364 days if you want. But today is definitely a day that is raw and still very emotional for all of us. And I want to encourage you to go with it. Cry if you have to. Write something down. Go to the memorial. Go to some of the events tonight. Reach out to somebody. If you're feeling like that, if you're feeling super down, reach out to one of us.
Yeah.
There are people that understand what you're going through, and we want to be here to be your support.
And just remember that love wins.
Love wins. Hashtag love wins. All right. Love you, girl. Appreciate you so much. Appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for allowing us. Oh, love you, Stacy. Love you, Barry, too. Barry said, love you guys. We just want you to feel like it's okay to be connected. And there still is hope. So here we go. We love you guys.
Orlando strong, baby.
Orlando strong. We love you guys. Have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow.